In this video, I'll show you what it's like to commute from New Jersey into Lower Manhattan on your e-bike. So for the next few minutes, I'll take you on a ride from my house to the train station, taking my e-bike onto the New Jersey Transit and into Lower Manhattan. Let's take a look. Let's get out of here. Hope I make it to the train. I don't want to be late. Okay. Right now, I am late. I am late. Trying to make a train that's leaving in like 7 minutes, I think. This is the yellow and it's turning red. Okay, no turn on red. Let these cars go first. Right on the bump. So rule number one, if you're going to be taking your e-bike to work, plan accordingly. Don't be late. Find out what time the train comes in and make sure your bike is ready to go. You're ready to go. Make sure you have a full charge. And try not to get any red lights. I might be late. Or I might just be on time. There's only one way to find out, America. There's only one way to find out. And hopefully the elevator to the train platform works. So, I'm taking my e-bike onto an elevated platform. So I have to make sure, the first time I'm going there, I gotta make sure that that elevator works, or else I'm gonna be lugging this thing up the stairs. Don't do that. Might have to, but we'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I'm going on the sidewalk. I can hear it. I can hear it. There's the elevator to this thing. Elevator, 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 please don't leave. Elevator, elevator, please don't leave. Alright, this is part of the adventure. Now that I made it into the train, the conductor was nice enough to point me in the right direction for the bike storage. So you have to make sure that you know where you need to go if taking your bike onto the train. So, super obvious. First thing to point out when you're bringing your e-bike onto the train, especially for this fat tire e-bike, this thing is big and bulky compared to traditional bicycles. And because it's bigger, it can tip over and fall if you're not holding on to it during stops, or if the train's shaking around or turning. You know, you just have to make sure that that bike is stable, you're holding on to it. And since it's big and bulky, it can also be bumped by other passengers. Rode out on a Sunday, and this was not rush hour. This was actually on the weekend, and the train was fairly empty. I mean, I haven't gotten on the New Jersey Transit since 2020, so this is the first time I've been on since the hit of the pandemic. And this is the first time I've been on a Sunday. So, I mean, it looked fairly empty. There were some passengers coming in and out from the different stops. So I was able to just hang out in my little section there and wait for me to get to Newark Penn Station. So once I got to the path, there were still a lot of people out there. Still weekend schedule. And I wasn't able to get my path card. I wasn't able to get that online. So I had to walk over to one of those Metro card machines to get one of those path cards. And you can tell that this machine has been used up and beat up, and it took a while for me to get a card set up. Also important to note, when you're taking your fat tire e-bike on the train or on your commute, there are a lot of eyeballs. People will look at you weird because first they'll think it's a motorcycle, but then it's not. But then you're wearing a helmet. Maybe they're just looking at me because I had a helmet on. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they just thought I was a weirdo with a motorcycle helmet walking around. If you're commuting on weekend schedule, like when I took this footage, there's not that many trains coming in compared to rush hour. I think I had to wait a good 45 minutes for the PATH train to show up. And this was a Sunday morning, and I was just waiting. And then finally, the PATH train pulls up. Things to consider if you are planning on bringing your fat tire e-bike on the New Jersey PATH or any train station. You're gonna have to jock for position. After all the stops, I finally met my destination of World Trade Center. And I was looking for an elevator. I couldn't really find it. I knew there were elevators on the PATH, but I just couldn't find it. When you're taking your e-bike on an escalator, make sure that your front brake is locked or engaged, because you don't want that bad boy to roll down. Ended up in the Oculus. It's actually nice taking a walk around the Oculus that's not in rush hour, because back when I used to work in downtown, I just wanted to get from point A to point B, heads down, get to work, right? And then just like I never really had time to look up. Now, I'm looking around and it looks pretty cool. So it looks like I finally made it out. Boy, that commute was long.
Holy cow.
That was a long commute, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, holy cow indeed.
What a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it was. There's nothing like getting out into the city though. And it was definitely nice to roll out on a Sunday morning in the city, because if this was, let's say, on a Monday morning, or if it was on a regular business day, forget it, there would be probably so many people walking around.
Wow, haven't been here in a while.
Oh, that's a pretty trippy shot.
We are going.
It's pretty trippy.
Century 21. I like that.
So just use your e-bike to cross the crosswalk, and then once I crossed the crosswalk, I was on a sidewalk. So once I saw there's so many cop cars there, I got off my bike and started walking it. From World Trade Center, I rode all the way down to Wall Street. Just made a quick left onto Broadway. They got a good halal food truck over there when I used to work down here. But yeah, the streets are pretty empty. And this angle is pretty trippy too. Get on the bike lane, even though the streets are empty. That's the first time I've actually been on a bike lane in the city. This is the first time I'm actually riding a bike in the city. I turn here. And stop by the gym. I only use that gym to go to the bathroom. And now, and that is the New York Stock Exchange. So that is the commute so far. Thank goodness there weren't that many people, but this looked like a pretty cool angle. So after riding by the New York Stock Exchange, you know what, I decided to just roll out and head back. But before I head back, I want to stop by the 9/11 Memorial by the World Trade Center and pay my respects. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Pretty cool shot.
New York Stock Exchange.
So this is the first time I actually walked around the 9/11 Memorial after it's been built. And to really read the names that were on there and see the water. There's a Freedom Tower. This is actually the first time I actually walked up close. And it was very solemn feeling. I'm just gonna let this thing roll. What are the key takeaways? You know, what are some things that are good to point out if you're planning on taking your fat tire e-bike into the city, or if you're commuting from a place on where you need to put your e-bike onto a train? One of the things super important to do, plan accordingly. You know, find out what time your train is getting there and make sure you get there on time. You know, do your pre-travel check and make sure that you have a full charge. Now, what did I learn from taking my e-bike into the city? This thing is big, bulky, and heavy. And for people who are planning on taking these bikes to work from, let's say, New Jersey, and you're planning on taking it during rush hour, super bulky, it's super heavy, it takes up a lot of room. If you're commuting with others, people might not be very happy that you're commuting with that thing. So you'll be encountering some really cranky people because it takes up a lot of room. So that's all for this part of my video. You know, I learned that taking a fat tire e-bike on a train is a big pain in the butt. It's never too late to be a better version of yourself. I'm keeping it wheel with Aaron. Like, comment, or subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.